Today we are going to learn how to remove background of an image. So basically we have we have so many ways of doing that. We have the magic tool, then we have the quick selection tool. As well, you can use the um, other tools to take off the background. So without much ado, let me go to let me go and open the image or the picture that I want to go to. So I'll go to open, then go and search for where I want us to save in our lessons. So I've created a folder that is tutorials. So how to remove the background as my folder. First of all, let me select the first picture. We have to know that in the form of deleting a background, we have tools that will help you to automatically remove the background of the image. And as well, if you want to, let's say, follow certain procedure, it can also help you. So for now, we have a uniform background. We have these couples here. I want to take off the background. Maybe I need the picture to do maybe a countdown flyer or maybe save the date or something. But I don't need this white background. I need a background. I need just the picture to use on my either flyer or any design that I'm doing. So let's start. With this particular one, we have this selection tools here. We have object selection tool, quick selection tool, and the magic tool. When you have a uniform background like this, the best tool to use is the let's say the magic tool. The magic tool helps you to just with a click it selects the outline of the image. You can check that everything is selected perfectly. Very perfect. Everything is selected perfectly because the background of the image is uniform. Though it's perfect here, but you can still check around whether there are circles because it's actually considered the outline. So maybe the internal, you can see from this place that it hasn't selected that. You can enter shift, then you click on that area, it will select as well. So basically this is one form of selecting the background of an image, and it's simple. So after selecting, you just either, if you want to check whether the edges are smooth and everything is okay, you go to mask, then you come, this area will be indent. You just have to make sure you get a nice edge. So you use these settings here to be manipulating to get a nice and smooth edges. So as you are doing making the settings, you just have to check whether you are getting a perfect edges. So let's use drag them and see getting this smoother. Let's increase the filter. Just think we have a perfect job here. So after this is done, you know now you have a perfect perfect of the image being selected. So you just click OK. You still don't see anything, so you just have to come to your mask, come here, then click on mask, it has actually selected the outline radar, so you just have to enter control I. Control I. So control I will bring up the image of whatever you've selected, the perfect selected. So let's actually bring some background and directly check whether we got a perfect. So let's check. You see, everything is perfect and it's good for, let's say, any design that you want to use. So these are some of the things you can use. These are some of the selections you can use for your works. And this is the magic tool. So after the magic tool, you go to the select a mask. You edit the edges and make sure that you've gotten a smooth background. You just check the settings and make sure you've gotten a smooth background. Then you can save it. This it's perfect. Nice. So we'll be using other tools as well to do the selection. So let's move to the different tool, that is the quick selection tool. Is that let's disable or delete the layer mask. Now we are going to use another method, of which that one is so simple. You come to the property, you come to the property bar, then you can see a quick action. If you click this and this is not showing, just click on this arrow, it will drop down, then you see a remove background, then select subject. Whichever way, if you want to automatically, if you click here, it will give you a perfect removing of background. You can click it and it will work on for some time, to take some time to work, to take some time to just take off the background. So okay, you see it has taken the background perfectly. Let's bring up our background color and see. You see it's perfectly done because the background is uniform and doesn't have any colors that you will be worried about. So I think with a uniform background, this is best to be used. Either you use the magic tool or the other tool, that is the remove background tool or the selected. This is, you can't find this tool, you can't find this particular selection tool on the 2020, 2019, 2020 version. You can get it on the 2022, then the 2023 version of Photoshop. So you can't just be exploring. Let's go back. Let's delete the layer mask and let's come back here. There's another one, selection tool, and this selection tool also helps if maybe you don't have a uniform background, of which that one, let's try it on the other image. So basically, when you want to use the automated mode, that one, that clearly select the background and make everything perfect. You can use the two methods that I showed you. Okay, so let's actually move to a different. So let me go and select a picture with a different color background. That is very difficult to use the automatic or the magic tool. So let me open it. So this image shown, you see the background is multicolored. So let's try this. Let's use, let's say, the magic tool and see. You see, when you use the magic tool, it has not been able to select the image properly. So you have to be using the shift key to be just clearing, and it's a whole tedious something. So the best one, if I select it, then maybe you go to the quick selection tool. When you are using the quick selection tool, make sure you zoom your image properly. Then you just drag it, just click and drag it on the image. On the image, it will be selecting all the needed edges. You just have to take your time, then do this selection. You can open the app, then you'll be selecting it along. Though this one is kind of a bit of tedious, but it gives you the room of just selecting just the image on the background. So you just be using this to select. If it over select, you can just come here, click the negative sign one, then just make sure it fits there. Or you can as well use the shift key or the alt key, alternate key, to just be manipulating the negative and the plus sign of the two. So let's say I want to drag and I want to make sure that I select the image properly. So okay. So make sure all this is going to the edges. So you do this till you're able to select the image completely. Select the edges of the image you want to keep. Okay, it is done, but I think it's not that perfect. If you want to get a perfect selection, make sure you zoom your image. You zoom it very well so that under context, maybe a phone or something, the edges, if the edges are not even smooth, you wouldn't see them. So make sure, see, when we zoomed it, you find out that this place is not well selected. So you just have to make sure it's properly done. You just have to make sure that it can come to the, you can still zoom it to make sure that you go around the image, make sure it's properly selected. As you can see this place, just have to make sure it's on the edges that you want. See, check how this edges. Just make sure all the edges are well set. I'm using the shift and the alt to be changing the negative and the addition and the subtraction of selecting the image. So let me reduce this. This is over selected, so we don't need this place. We need it to be on the image proper. So let's assume everything is perfect here now. You've selected only the image from the phone, but yes, still we want to confirm whether the image is properly selected. So you go to your select mask, select a mask, to read for some time depending on the machine. You see, everything is done perfectly here, but I think we couldn't select. There was some image, some of the selection came in. I think when we were trying to drag the selection outside, we couldn't check it properly. So when you come in it like this, you just have to use this tool here to just fill those spots that has been deleted. So if you check the edges, you can see it's not perfectly done. It is not smooth. You can be using these settings to make sure your image edges it's nicely done. So let's say you select your radius, smart radius, then put it maybe one, put this place to one, then maybe the smoothing as you are editing, you are trying to manage and get a smooth edges of the image. You make sure as you are dragging, you are just monitoring to check whether everything is going the way you expected. And there's a perfect image that to uh, help here. You can just click and you can get edges that you will love it. And you can see we kind of gotten something perfect that can be used. So you get to this point and you know you are okay. Just come here, then you click okay, and it's perfectly done. So you can use this for your flyer, anything that your poster and everything that you want to use. So this is the quick selection tool. When the background of the image is not uniform and you can't just use the magic tool on or the quick selection tool to do that, you just have to use this process and basically you do them. Okay, so there are other options that you can use to delete the background, especially let's close this and just on this one. Let's say I want to use the pen to work on this. We can as well use the pen to work on this. But when you select the pen tool, after selecting the pen tool, just come here, then make sure it's on path. When you select the pen tool, make sure this place is on path so that it will not be just creating shapes, but rather it will be creating path. After the selecting the path, you know you are selecting your image. So maybe after selecting the path, just come here, make sure that you've zoomed the thing, zoom your image so that you can get a perfect edges. So you can just be clicking along, can just be clicking to get your image selected. So as you can see, you can do this, and as you are doing, you make sure you get a perfect selection of the image that you are actually working on. Make sure this one, it sometimes take time to do, but it will give you a perfect selection. So you can, based on how you want your image being selected, you can just be using what the kind of tool that best fits you to be selecting your image. So you will do this, fast forward it, make sure I'm doing the thing, I'm doing it. When it's selected this way, you enter the Alt key, then you drag this thing so that it wouldn't, to give you a chance to just select it properly, because if you don't do it like that, the image, you wouldn't get the tools to go in the direction that you want. Like I'm saying, see, to just have to make sure you take your time, then be doing it how you want it. Sorry, go in the image. If you are not okay with the pen tool, then I think using the quick selection tool, but with time, the pen tool helps. When you click, then you try to be dragging to make sure you are getting the selection that you want. If you don't select it properly, you will get a very sharp edges, of which it will not going to help you. But if you zoom it and you make sure you select the outline of the image, after you using the select and mask tool, everything will be perfect. So we actually using the pen tool to do this. We are almost done. So after it, this went kind of a straight line. So you just have to make sure you use this. You can enter. You click on the shift key and just enter. I think it's not giving you something better here, so just let's do it. So see, after getting to the last point, clicking on it, you see it indicates on the some zero around the pen tool. When you click it to that point, it will select the image for you. But this doesn't mean that it has been selected. What you have to do is that you have to right click. You have to left click, or I think right click rather, then come to this point. There's a pop-up warning that is going to appear. Then you make sure you select the make a selection. Then maybe you want your selection edges to be smooth, so either you increase the feather bar, for this tutorials, let's use the one. So after you selected it, you can see the image has been selected, like we use the quick selection tool. So if you want to work on it, you can go and click on the selection tool, then go to mask, the select and mask tool, to check whether the edges are okay for your image. You can see we have some inconveniences and some things are not being selected well. So you can use these tools to be editing the edges so you get something that you want. I think it's not bad. It's not bad. If you are starting to use the pen tool, it's not going to be easy. But I see at the end of the day, you've gotten something perfect that will use. So if you think everything is okay, then you click OK. Then it's done here. So you can use this thing. So comparing this to this, you can see there's no difference. This one we used the how do you call it? The quick selection to remove this background, then we use the pen tool. You can see it's the same thing. Depending on how you worked with Photoshop and how quick you are using the Photoshop space. So I think for now, today we will end our lesson here with this selection tool. So this any of the options will help you. Either you use the selecting marks, either you use selection marks, of which there are ways of doing that. Either you use the remove background or use the select subject tool, or you come here, you use the object selection tool or the quick selection tool, or use the magic tool. But make sure when you are using it, you are using in appropriate backgrounds, because some of the tools is not going to give you a perfect selection. So you just have to go through numerous of situations before you can get whatever you want. Let's assume you want to use this object selection tool. The object selection tool take a bit of time to be able to delete the background. But let's try it. For we're almost done, but let me go through it last so that we know we are done with the selection tool. We're done with the selection. So you just have to make sure you select it. Then uh, you just have to select it. Then you click and drag it around the image that you want to select. Sometimes you will get a perfect selection. At this other time, you wouldn't get. You have to make sure you manipulate using the other selection tool so that you can take off your background. So you see, it is perfectly done here, but it is not perfect. You can see this section of the image was not selected. So if it's done that way, you can go and use the quick selection tool. You can come here, use the quick selection tool to come and finish up the areas that was not selected. Then you can either go to your selected mask to edit the edges so that if it is not perfectly done, you will just edit it. If you think it is okay for you, after zoom in to check whether everything is okay, then you can just click on the mask to see everything is okay. So now let's check. It's not bad. So for today, let's end our lesson here. I think it has been a perfect and good. Just if you are okay with our teachings, just click on the subscribe button, click on like and share so that anytime that, and click on the notification so that anytime that we update our YouTube page, you get a notice of it. Thank you for being here. Bye bye.